embracing diversity. Graceful Exchange, honoring God. Graceful Exchange, where wisdom meets harmony in every conversation.
Welcome to our Wednesday night, the Graceful Exchange Live Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Timothy M. Jones Sr., and we have our co-host, Asia Sade.
Hey, y'all.
We have the Apostle, Sylvia Nash.
Hello, everyone.
We have Dr. Jeanette Baker.
Hey, hey.
Tony is in the house. And we have Cherry also with us.
Hello.
All right. We are ecstatic about tonight's podcast, and this is going to be a wonderful evening of dialogue. Again, This is the Graceful Exchange Live Podcast. Won't you do me a favor real quick? Like, share, heart it, like it, heart it, like it, heart it, like it, and heart it again. We want you to comment, and we want you to share this podcast. Can y'all do me the favor of sharing? You know, sharing is free, y'all.
Come on.
We don't charge you to share, and Facebook don't either. So do me a favor and go ahead and share this wonderful, wonderful time of dialogue. We're so grateful to all of our supporters, for those that jump on and hang out with us every Wednesday night. We're so grateful for you. We're grateful for your support. We're grateful for your feedback. It is an awesome experience, and we have real talk.
Yes.
It's about having real dialogue. And so tonight we are going to discuss the subject or the topic of the power of no. The power of no. Somebody just say no.
No.
All right. Y'all sound good.
No.
So,
No. Come on here.
the power of no. And so tonight we're talking about discovering the keys to healthy boundaries. Discovering the keys to healthy boundaries. And so this is going to be a show that is going to step on my toes quite a bit. It's going to step on my toes. And so I'm excited about it. I'm excited about this night of dialogue. And so we're going to go ahead and start with our business highlights. We're going to start with our business highlights, and we're going to share some information with you. Won't you go ahead and just stay tuned for our business highlight?
All right. So the business highlights of the week, we have Tim Jones Global Mentoring Academy offering ministry mentorship, business mentorship in a combo for business and ministry mentorship. All programs require a minimum of 1 year commitment. This is your personal training and development in the area of ministry and business from Dr. Timothy M. Jones Sr. himself, one who is already established and successful both in ministry and in business. So who better to learn from than someone who actually knows what they're doing? Y'all email timjonesglobal1@gmail.com if you or someone you know is interested in ministry mentorship or business mentorship. All right, the American Global Christian Chaplain Association has just graduated another class on the 30th of March, and we are now registering for the next class. If you or someone you know is a ordained or licensed minister of the gospel, you can become a part of the organization by registering for training. You can visit our website at agcca.org under registration, fill out that little form, and you will get some more further information. It is now more than ever important to understand and learn how to deal with trauma outside of the pulpit. So get with American Global Christian Chaplain Association. All right, Apostles going to St. Louis this Friday. We are excited for a revival, a one-night revival this Friday, April the 5th. We are excited because those in St. Louis love our apostle immensely, and we are going to have a time. So if you're interested, you can take that drive and come on down and support. Orchard Street Christian Daycare Center is hiring for a toddler teacher and floating teacher's assistant. If you or someone you know is a qualified teacher or assistant teacher, please submit those resumes to oscdcemployment@gmail.com. And we are also at Orchard Street enrolling for toddlers 15 months to 23 months. You can get quality education for your toddlers. Come on and register. You can send an email to orchardstreetchristiandaycare@gmail.com, or you can give us a call at 708-489-5324. And just a heads up for anyone who is interested in having their business spotlighted or highlighted, you can also email us at thegracefulexchange@gmail.com to get further information about how to become a sponsor or business that is highlighted during these sessions. All right.
All right. You've heard all of our business highlights and our sponsors, and we hope and pray that we can serve you well. All right, we're going to go ahead and move forward with our social media spotlight of the week. So we're going to look at our social media spotlight. There is a post that we chose. Again, if you post, we may grab it. All right. So this post is from Javante Peterson Sr. So the post states, stop taking constructive criticism from people who haven't constructed anything.
My Lord.
Stop taking constructive criticism. Stop taking constructive criticism from people who haven't constructed anything. Stop taking constructive criticism from people who haven't constructed anything. All right.
Jesus.
This is good, right?
Yeah. Way to kick it off.
This is good. We're going to kick it off real good. Stop taking constructive criticism from people who haven't constructed anything. Ain't did a doggone thing.
My Lord.
I want to tell you what to do.
Tell you possible.
How to move. So, y'all talk to me. What's your feeling on this?
And the word of the Lord is blessed.
Yeah, already.
And it is. And it is. Look, as the old saints would say, and may the Lord add a blessing.
Come on.
Show enough. So, stop taking constructive criticism from people who haven't constructed anything. What do you think?
If you haven't constructed anything, then it's just criticism.
Yeah,
And I look at you like a hater at this point.
right,
You can't tell me nothing that you haven't done.
right. And then how you gonna use that oxymoron, constructive criticism?
Mhm.
You building me up but tearing me down, and then you're doing that out of what? You haven't constructed anything. So I mean, you doing that out of what?
Right.
Is a little jealousy there?
And that's when you hear that. Well, I'm just trying to help you.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to tell you. Well, no, you're not. You can keep on and keep to yourself because you're not trying to help me build. You're not even trying to build for yourself. So
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like that saying, the pot calling the kettle black.
Mhm.
You're criticizing something about me that you have not mastered yourself.
Right.
So you're telling me that I need to do this and to do that, and you haven't done that or this.
Come on.
So no.
I agree.
But building me up.
Right.
How does it work?
I agree. I think that we've got to be cautious, right? We've got to be very, very cautious about accepting any type of feedback, any type of advice, or constructive criticism from people who lack experience,
Mhm.
people who lack experience or even accomplishments.
Mhm.
And so
Right.
oftentimes, if you are not skilled and schooled in a particular area, you can't really help anybody,
Mhm.
right? You can't help me with a thing that you have not mastered.
Mhm.
And so it pretty much tells us that we got to evaluate who we listen to, evaluate what they come to the table with, evaluate
agree.
what
It's
you're
true.
allowed to come into your psyche and rest in your spirit and on your heart.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times people will give you what they call constructive criticism, as we stated, but it ain't nothing but haterade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's nothing about but jealousy. And well, if I was you, y'all, we hear that a lot. If I was you, I would do it like this. If I was you, or I think it would be better if you did it like this. But most people don't take their own advice,
Right.
right? And so I think I'm the kind of person where I can listen to you when I see your advice work for you.
That's
Exactly.
right.
You know, when what you're telling me to do works for you, then we can talk. We can have dialogue. So stop taking constructive criticism from people who haven't constructed anything. Stop taking advice from people who don't even follow their own advisement. You know,
Yeah.
so I think this is good. All right. Lady Rice put, don't even say anything to me about something you've never done.
Right.
Now that's the truth. Right. Keep your opinion, keep your ideas and ideologies to yourself if you have not again accomplished anything. If your own advice is not helping you, then we should keep that to ourselves. Anybody have anything that you want to add to that? Stop taking constructive criticism from people who haven't constructed anything.
Well, sometimes people say constructive criticism is, well, I did it wrong, so this is what I'm telling you. Do you agree with those who come and try to give constructive criticism on notes of them failing, and now they're trying to tell you how not to fail? Is that still the same thing? Does that give it is it still constructive criticism if you can only tell me how not to do it?
I wouldn't say that, because it depends on their motive. To me, it depends on really what's in their heart. What are they trying to say? If they're honestly trying to help, saying that, listen, I tried this, I did it this way, it didn't work, so I'm just trying to help save you a few little steps of making a mistake, then yeah, I can receive that, because they've been there and done that.
Right.
But if you've never done anything, you can't, it's not much you can tell me.
Gotcha.
All right. Anybody else? I don't want to
All
miss
right.
you. Anybody else got something to add? We're good?
We're good.
All right. Let's keep going. Again, this is the Graceful Exchange Live Podcast, where we have real talk. We are realists here, and we don't mind sharing even the things that may even expose us, right? Because tonight's subject is going to do a thing for me. You know, it steps on my toes. The power of no. Lord help. Lord help. The power of no. The power of no. All right. So let's go ahead and do our artist of the week.
Sounds good.
Let's do our artist of the week. And so this is his daughter, Ariana Thomas. And so she is our featured artist of the week. She came for our women's only. And when I tell you, I love her music, her gift, her talent, her anointing. And so she has a single out called Already Loved. And so we're going to hear this particular song on tonight. And I want y'all to go and download it. It is on all digital outlets. Again, Ariana Thomas, Already Loved. Take a listen.
Searching and hoping for a way of escape from the emptiness you feel, from the pain you think will never heal. But have you thought for a moment that the love you always wanted was looking you right in the eyes, trying hard to reach inside and convince you that all you hurt was never a burden for you to bear alone? You have never been alone, and oh, you felt your pain, and he's felt your tears. You're already loved. You're already loved. You're already loved. Look up, you're already loved. you search through the dark with your doubts on your shoulders and questions in your heart. You think your mistakes haven't made you unworthy, but open your eyes. There's a reason you're alive. And always felt your pain. And he's felt your tears. You're already loved. You're already loved. You're already loved. Look up. You're already loved. You're already loved. You're already loved. You're already loved. Look up. You're already loved. Lift up your head. Lift up your head. Whoa, you're already loved. Lift up your head. Lift up your head. High. Lift up your head. You're already loved. You're already loved. He knows how to give. He'll always be there. You don't have to love. You're loved right where you Lift up your head. He's always there. He knows and he cares. Lift up your head. Lift up your head. You're already loved.
Somebody shout hot. It's hot. It's
Hot, it's hot, it's hot.
yeah, that's hot.
Yeah.
So that is Ariana Thomas, and her single is Already Loved. Go out there. It's on all digital outlets. Go and support her. It's hot. It's a
Yes.
blessing to know that we're already loved. Can we
Yes.
just go ahead and put some hand claps out there and us that's in the room? We celebrate Ariana. Keep on making your
Yes.
music. Keep on
Yes.
impacting lives. Amen. Because you have a remnant of folk that are enjoying what you are producing. Keep producing well. All right. All right. I guess we can go ahead and jump in on this topic. I'm so nervous. I'm nervous.
Be free.
You don't know how to say no?
Be free.
I have a problem with that word.
My Lord.
And so, yeah. So this particular one is gonna step all
Get your
on
deliverance.
Yeah.
my deliverance, you know.
Yeah.
So here is an opportunity for me to learn and master saying no. Help me, Jesus, right? Because I may say no out of my mouth, but still end up doing it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, okay. We gonna get delivered tonight. We're gonna get delivered. We're gonna be free tonight. And so we're gonna go ahead and start. The topic again for tonight's podcast is the power of no. The power of no. The power of no. Discovering the keys to healthy boundaries. Discovering the keys to healthy boundaries. The power of no. Help us, Lord. y'all see how slow I am. Y'all see, I'm real slow. I'm dragging.
Help him, Lord.
I'm dragging because this is rough for me. This is rough. But we can't just talk about the things that make us comfortable, right?
Right.
So we must, sometimes expose ourselves. And this is going to be a night of exposing me.
Yeah.
Because I have a problem saying no. Want to help everybody, want to do for everybody, want to be there for everybody. But I'm going to be delivered. No.
Go right to say no.
I'm just practicing.
There you go.
It's all right.
It's okay.
To say no. All right. So let's start here. Can we share some practical tips for effectively saying no without feeling guilty or rude? Can we share some practical tips for effectively saying no without feeling guilty or rude? I think this is a good place to start because that's me, that's a good place to start because typically you say no and then you feel guilty because you said no, I think that oftentimes we got to realize that we're not Christ, we're not Jesus, we're not everybody's savior, right?
Right.
And so it's okay to say no. It's okay to say no. I'm just practicing. I'm telling myself this. It's okay to say no. So can we, real quick, share some practical tips for effectively saying no without feeling guilty or rude? Before they start talking, again, for those of you all that have just joined, you have joined the Graceful Exchange Live Podcast. Every Wednesday night, we're here at 8:45 p.m. and we're here to rock it out with you until we're over. All right. And so again, you have joined, and we are live on Facebook, but we're also live on YouTube. Do me the favor, when you get off of here, go and like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, the Graceful Exchange Podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, like our Facebook page. And as we build our audience on our Facebook page, we'll stop going live on my main page. But right now, because we're building an audience, we're going live on my page, and we'll eventually start going live on that podcast page. So again, make sure that you do that for me. Like and share this particular live. Please do that for me as you're tuning in, as you're jumping on. Go ahead, share. Sharing is free. Sharing is free. Y'all see how I'm stalling?
Yes.
It's hilarious.
Help Jesus. Help Father God. All right. Y'all have your way. Y'all talk. I'm just gonna sit here and listen. Y'all give me therapy tonight. Give me some therapy tonight. So go ahead.
Maybe what Pastor Jefferson said will make you laugh a little bit. She said, when someone asks you something, just reply, "Let me see what God say." Let me see what the Lord said, and I'll get back to you.
I know that's right. So in other words, don't just come out and say no.
Let me
just
see what the
let me
Lord.
see what the Lord say about that. And then what happens when it takes too long to respond?
You still waiting to hear?
I'm still waiting. Right. Let me go back and talk to Jesus. All right. What we got here?
Well, I think that before you can master saying no and making sure that you're saying it, the right way, not being offensive, you got to be true to yourself.
Yeah.
You have really got to be honest with yourself. And we have to stop saying yes when we really want to say no.
Right.
And we have to stop saying yes because we're afraid of being rejected, or somebody's going to get mad, or they're not going to want to be bothered. They're going to talk about me. All of those negative things. You've got to be able to get into a place where you have to be honest with your own self and maintain your own self-respect. I don't want to do this. So because I don't want to do it, I'm not doing it. So no. And then you have to be okay with your no. How can you expect someone else to be okay with your no and you still struggling with the fact that you said no?
Okay.
So we've got to be honest with ourselves, and that is a struggle in itself
Yeah.
because nobody wants to be rejected.
Right.
Nobody wants to be talked about,
Right.
and nobody wants to hear a lot of negative proclivities about what you said or why you're not doing it. So first, be honest with you. Be real with you. Be true to your own self, and be strong enough to accept your own no.
That's good.
All right.
That's
deep.
good. Yeah, but you know what, too? Another way that can possibly help my apostle is to
Lord.
maybe you could just look at saying no as self-care. Self-care. Prioritizing you.
That's good.
Mhm.
Uh-huh. That's what
Mhm.
I think that'll help.
Mhm.
You don't know how. Prioritize you. Think of it as self-care. You're doing this now for you. Your no is for you. So you don't feel like doing it, or maybe you don't want to do it or whatever. And so you don't have to feel bad by saying no, because I'm self-caring for me. So no, when you look at it that way, it's setting boundaries for you. So maybe, that's another way that could be looked at.
I hear you.
But
I hear you. You know, my thing is that it's not that I don't want to say no.
yeah,
I just, again, I
It's
struggle
hard.
with the guilt of, like, you can. Or,
yeah.
That's guilt.
So
So
But
that's
healthy
feeling guilty about
boundaries,
saying
that's
no.
my starting point. Why
Yeah.
I think you have to figure out why you're so inclined to say yes.
Yeah,
Because
and feel
everything
guilty.
isn't a yes. So we have to figure
Right.
out
Yeah,
why our mind tells
Mhm.
us that we have to agree to appease others.
Mhm.
Why do we have to fulfill every need of others? Why do I have to be the savior, the rescuer, the
Correct.
yes man to other people? What does that do for me? What is it making me feel like towards them? So you gotta get to the root of the can't say no,
Well,
because
I
it's
know
not
my root.
just the
I know my root.
what's
My
that?
root
Let's
for
talk
not
about it.
saying no is because I don't have a me. And if I had people who could do for me like I can do for others,
Mhm.
then maybe I feel different. But I say yes to help people because who do I call for help? I wish I had somebody that I can call for help and all the rest. And so sometimes you can say yes to accommodate others in the areas that you're lacking. And so my yes to others is because I ain't got nobody to say yes to me.
So why can't you be you for you
Yeah.
What you
before
mean?
other people?
Say-
You say you don't have you and other
What do you
people.
mean? Be me for me.
Yes,
Meaning,
meaning the stuff
I
that
am me
you
for
are.
me. I do everything.
No,
for myself.
no,
like that.
no, you don't. No, how I'm
I do
saying
everything for myself.
right, but I've seen you not buy for yourself,
Don't
but
put my
buy for
business out
everybody
there.
else. No, we're gonna put you on the couch today. We're gonna put you on the
I mean,
couch.
that's true.
So what I'm saying is before
You making me parched
before
here.
extending all of you in resource time, talent, and whatever else to other people, why aren't you pouring that into you?
Well, this is not about me.
This is, you know how many people out here like you?
Real quick.
Yeah,
Really did.
real. Lift your hand.
Oh my God. Get free, Apostle.
This ain't about me. Let's keep going. I'm over here sweating and
Drinking
I need
water.
a fan. What is happening? This ain't about me. Let's go back. Let's read. Let's read some of these comments, and we're gonna come back to y'all because y'all need deliverance at this table. Y'all jumping me. Wait, hold up. Toya Hodges. She says, if you say yes, can you afford to lose what you lost?
Mm.
My God. Time, money, peace, etc. I just say it because I know the person will continue to ask others until they get what they want.
Very true.
That's true.
Boy, can you afford to lose what you lost? That thing is deep.
It is.
All right, y'all. I told y'all this is stressing me out. This is why I wouldn't. Oh boy, Reverend Dr. Patrice Reddick. She put, know your limits, set your boundaries, count the costs, and recognize your sacrifices when you say yes. Woo, Jesus. Help Lord, help Lord, help Lord. Okay. All right, y'all go ahead. Y'all finish talking, but take it off me. Take it off me. And y'all learn how to say no. Leave me alone.
Well, Apostle, I'm going to take it off of you, but I'm just going to say this. I think, and I believe that your struggle is because you have such a caring heart.
Yeah.
And because you are a person of compassion and empathy, you struggle to say no, like you said, because you know that you can do it.
Right.
Or you can fulfill that, what that person needs. So instead of your no, you say yes. When you knew you probably should have said no, because you can in terms also be a hindrance.
Exactly.
Sometimes our yes, we're hindering
Lord Jesus.
that individual because they know, well, you know what? I need this, I need that. I'm just going to go to Apostle Jones because I know he has it and I know he can do it. Well, if you say no, and they can't get it from anywhere else, it's going to make them make a stand and do something that they didn't have to do before. And what is that? Put forth an effort to get it done themselves.
My Lord. Okay.
And that's just for all of us.
Yes.
You know, that's for all of us. We have to look at
Yes.
whether or not we are hindering someone. You know, let your no be no and let your yes be yes. Stand by your no. To say yes, and you really wanted to say no, that's no stand.
Okay, so at the table, can we just survey the table real quick? Let's just survey the table. How many of us at the table can say no? If you can say no, raise your hand.
Y'all stressing me out.
At the Graceful Exchange Podcast, if you are in the room or at the table and can say no, raise your hand.
Well, let me ask you a question. Are you saying to say no without any repercussions on the inside or any regret? Or without beating up yourself?
Healthy boundaries is being able to say no without.
I think it depends on what I'm saying no to.
It depends.
Right.
It really does.
All of us.
Everybody
Yes.
That was my point. So everyone has because I know even me sitting here, knowing what healthy boundaries are, knowing how to put them into play, but still not being able to feel them in all instances. I still bend for certain folks. I still gonna give a yes when I really want to be like, no, you know what I mean? So it's hard.
I always give a yes when I want to say no.
That's not good.
Always. It depends.
I don't gotta always.
But why do you want to say no?
People's malicious intent.
I always say yes. I always say yes. When I say no, my yes is turned around in my doing. Because I would sit back and be like, no, they're going to feel a certain way. You know, that bothers me too. When people feel in certain ways, you know, because it's something I was telling somebody not long ago. I said, it feels like a blessing and a curse to be successful in a lot of areas. It really is.
Yeah.
Because if you are successful in so many areas, when you say no, people make you feel bad as if what you have is theirs.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It is that entitlement.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. And so to keep people from feeling a certain way, or then I think on the flip side, like, okay, well, if I don't say yes, what my no may lead them into a different direction. They either get in trouble or the outcome is not positive when I could have just said yes and stopped all of that.
That's like taking on
Y'all-
false burden.
y'all-
That's
y'all
like taking on
help me.
false burden
Not your
and
burden
false
to carry.
false responsibility.
Help me without attacking me, though.
Okay.
I think even that's situational though too, because
Yeah.
if something somebody's gonna make you feel like, oh, you could have helped. Well, maybe that's why I said no, because of your spirit.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're gonna have that towards me because I said no, then
You weren't right.
why are you around me anyway? Are you around just to benefit from my yes? So I
Most
think
times they are.
so. Then
Yeah.
all the more reason why.
Because typically, as soon as you say no, you become a monster.
Oh, well.
As soon
Right.
as you become, as soon as you say no, she say, "Oh well."
Oh, well.
You become a monster. You become a bougie and feeling as if you're better than everybody. It's almost like we don't have the room to say no.
That's true. That's the way they make you
but
feel.
then I look at it like, you know what? Your struggle is not my struggle to carry. And if your motive is not right, if you have a desire to put that off on me and make me feel some type of way, then you're going to get a no for sure. Now, if you go out there and do something you had no business doing, that's not my burden to carry. You are an adult and you make a choice. And with the choice you make comes with the choice you make comes what am I looking for? Comes like you have to pay for the choices you make.
Consequences.
There you go. With the choice you make comes consequences. Now you are an adult. You cannot put me in a situation or make me feel some kind of way because I said no while I was setting healthy boundaries for myself.
Right.
So I can't carry your weight. That's your weight to carry.
Yeah.
Now, if things are right, like we said, saying no is situational. It's definitely situational because we're not going to say no to just everyone, but you got to try the spirit by the spirit. You do, if you coming to me just because you know I have, and you know I'm not the type of person to say no, then you're not right. And that's not right. And I have to set a healthy boundary for myself.
That's right.
As to say no. And I won't feel bad about it. You know why? Because I know your motive wasn't pure.
But then you get attacked when you say no.
That's okay.
That's okay though.
When you say no or can't do, then you become attacked or whatever. And I think I can think of quite a few instances as when I may not have even said no, but if I didn't move how people expected me to move without giving a no, if my movement was different from the expectation, you become attacked. You become this, again, quote unquote, monster. You become, y'all know how it is. Yeah. You can give a million yeses, but as soon as you give that one no, it is as if you've never said yes, as if you've never done it, as if you've never been present, that type of thing, where you can go from love to hate just with a no one time. And I could have been there for you for the past 30 years. But as soon as that one opportunity where I don't show up, or I can't be there, or I can't assist, now I've never been there. I've never assisted. I've never helped. And they forget the millions of times when they couldn't call on nobody else but you.
Right.
And so I think a lot of times I say yes to keep all of that extra out the way because I've seen the repercussion for saying no.
Rachel say that's manipulation.
It is.
It's manipulation.
It is.
Yeah. And that's why you can't, look, just no.
Because even those who are around you, and just anybody, those who are around you who know that you possibly can help.
Right.
Those for real, they don't want to ask.
And don't.
Like I don't want to ask anybody for anything.
Correct.
Right.
So most times, I'll just pray about it. And you constantly praying, whatever happened, Lord, it's in your hands.
Yeah.
And most times somebody's led, hey, I was just thinking about you. Let me send you this.
Right.
Let me do this for you.
Right.
It always happens that way. But I didn't go asking a certain person unless then I was led, even in my prayer, to ask, okay, when you have this resource, use that. Right. But it's not, I'm going to come back. Well, you could have, you should have. So now we ain't cool. Now I feel a certain type of way. Why am I around you then? So if you got to check your motives, so that's how you moving towards people. because even then, you never know why somebody's saying no.
Right.
You know, let's say it's a money thing. You're asking somebody for, I'll just say $25. Well, they be being negative $2,500. So I really can't help you, right? But now because you attack me for saying no, but you don't know my situation either.
Exactly.
So say what you're saying, but because you use finance. So let's look at on the notes of somebody they know can do it and still say no. How we're handled,
right?
Because you, like you said, you may have a 2,500 situation, negative situation going on. You need $2,500 to clear your debts, and they're only asking for $25. But look at somebody else who may have an even larger debt, but even have the ability to help them on a larger scale. They're never gonna look at our debts. Never gonna look, because in people's mind is you got it all the time. Now I'm a person financially, since you brought that up, that live by budget.
Right.
I don't care how much, nothing I have. This is what it is. I'm not going over this. I don't care what happens. I'm not pulling from here, not pulling from there. This is what I'm dealing with, right? And so people will make you feel, if they call and have a need, because they know you have access to more, they'll make you feel bad because you're not going to your other means.
Or they'll try to make you feel bad. You just have to stand firm on it and don't do it. Because they'll just because if not, they're going to keep pulling and keep pulling and keep pulling and keep pulling. So you have to stand firm and say no. You have to.
But is that easy to do?
It's not, but you have to. It's not, because I do it all the time with my daughter. So I get it. But the times that I have to tell her no, it bothers me, but I'm like, oh, well, it is what it is. Yeah.
So
you will be okay.
When you talk about kids, when you talk about your children, that's a whole nother subject, because I'll say no all day long. But that no
turns into
a yes.
Right. They're tugging on your heart.
I mean, like, here, just go ahead. Just say it. Or I just told Tatiana just yesterday no to something. And I was trying to figure out how I can give her a yes. You know what I'm saying? But because she's so used to how I move, she came back around and presented me a thing that would make me say yes, right? But she don't know on the other side, I was trying to figure out what can be done so she can get her yes. That's what I'm saying. I got a problem.
Step one has been complete. He has admitted. He has.
I can't say no. What is going on?
But boundaries are not for other people; they're for you.
Right.
So when you're talking about unlearning rather, how to stop saying yes, that's like, again, this is something you've been doing your whole life. This is not something that just starts. If you all of us sitting at the table, because we all have a problem with it, right? If you go back to your childhood, you were doing that same thing then. I can guarantee everybody sitting at the table has had a boundary issue, has had an issue saying no to people, things, and all of the rest as a child. So this is like unlearning patterns of behaviors that says, again, I got to rescue people. I got to make you feel that I don't want to see you suffer. So I'm going to be Jesus. I have to make sure that you feel like this because I know what it feels like to do that. We got to take ourselves back a little bit, step back from out of other people's circumstance, and sometimes let folks figure it out. At the end of the day, you had to figure it out. I had to figure it out.
Totally agree.
You got to figure it out too.
And that's why I say I refuse to carry someone else's problem.
I'm telling you.
No, I hear all that. I hear. Y'all just talking.
Because it's still gonna be a yes. It's still gonna be a yes.
I can't say that. I think for me, he said every time. For everybody, it's yes. Right. It's not like that for me.
It's not that for
It's
me
only like
either.
that for who?
Certain people. You.
And your brother?
No. Joe will get a no. And he knows that. He will get a no. But I mean, that's just what it is. It's only circumstantial situation where I just I don't really
I
have an
think
option to say no.
I know you be saying yes and be wanting to say no to me. I know it.
Yeah. Hallelujah.
Because I think
It's all right.
I know it's not accepted. So you can say I know all day, but
right?
Okay, well, let me.
So that's
still go
different.
and do it anyway.
There's no option there. But I mean,
you see what I'm saying. That's my whole point.
What?
You be wanting to say no, but you say yes.
Yeah, but that's a whole different level of no.
You work.
I'm like, that's different. We can't compare that one, Apostle.
Okay.
You gotta give everybody else.
Everybody.
Well, you know what I have a problem
I'm
with.
trying to pull somebody else in to have a problem like me.
We all have, to a certain degree, we all struggle with that very same thing. But one thing you said earlier, you said that it's just like you have the finances, you have a big house. I have a problem with people dumping on someone that has. And they cannot enjoy their blessings. They can't enjoy their big house with 5 or 6 bedrooms without 5 or 6 families wanting to move in. And you can't say no, or you feel like you can't say no because you have the space.
Right.
Or they know that you are well off financially. So they figure, hey, I need a couple of thousand. Give me a couple of thousand.
Right.
And because you know you have a couple of thousand, you struggle to tell them no. Well, when I was reading about healthy boundaries, it's not always about space or finances. We are supposed to set these boundaries for mental health, emotional health, and physical health. Because when we say no and we wanted to say yes, we're tormented.
Yeah.
You don't have any peace. You can't rest. You struggle to do that thing. Why? Because you didn't want to do it. And your heart was not in it. So for us to master saying no would be a healthy thing for us. Go ahead and eat that carrot. Go ahead and eat some broccoli.
My Lord.
Go ahead and have some greens, even though you don't care that much about them, but it'll be good for you in the long run. And I'm speaking in general, not just about you, Apostle.
I will trust in the Lord.
You don't hear me.
I will trust in the Lord.
I think we have to stop. We have got to stop.
Yeah.
But
I told y'all stressing me out. Y'all stressing me out.
Not being able to say
somebody,
no.
hold on. Can somebody get me one of them funeral
I'm saying.
They got wild funeral.
I need a
funeral fan.
I need a funeral fan. They are stressing me out.
Don't be stressed, Apostle. We're speaking to ourselves as well with that very person.
Yeah.
Everybody has that one particular person, maybe two, that they cannot say no to. And when they say no, they turn around and do what you do and go ahead and do it anyhow.
But you guys keep saying certain and particular people.
That's an
we
example.
all that's healthy. We all will do that. But he's saying, look, I'm on him. He's saying anybody. That's unhealthy for him.
And you know
Now,
what?
we all have boundaries.
that, though.
That's unhealthy for him. You can't tell. You just can't tell nobody no.
I think he can.
Look on the screen.
I saw it.
A whole bunch of balloons just went up.
We need to celebrate Apostle deliverance tonight. Glory to God.
Woo, the saints are getting good. I'm telling you, they're messing me up tonight. I knew this was gonna be good. I knew it was gonna be good because we got problems.
But there's so many people in the feed that's feeling the same way.
Right.
So I see so many comments that are coming up.
Yes.
They're understanding the
Yes.
same thing because a lot of us unconsciously have developed a people-pleasing spirit. When you come to an area, especially being in ministry, where you feel like you have to people please. You got to be all things to all people all the time.
You know
and
what?
when you are not,
Come on now.
then you ain't a good pastor. Now you ain't a good minister. Now you mean, you rude, and you standoffish and all the rest.
Mhm.
No, it's just a no today.
All right.
But
All
this
right. All right.
Reverend Dr. Patrice, Reverend Dr. Patrice answered just what you said. She said, when someone makes you feel bad for saying no, it's important to stand firm in your decision and not allow guilt and manipulation to sway you. In situations where someone tries to make you feel guilty or manipulates you for saying no, it's essential to remember that your worth and value comes from God, not
Reverend.
from the approval or acceptance of others. Stand firm in your decision, seek God's guidance and strength, and trust that He will uphold you in difficult situations.
All right, cousin. All right. That's good.
Let me tell you.
She said that.
He said it.
Yes, she did.
The Reverend Dr. Patrice, ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right, you just preached to us.
Yes,
you just closed the book. All right. But you know what? As Pastor Asia was talking, when you just stated about, because that could be the problem, that in pastoralship we try to be there for everybody.
Yes.
So sometimes the pastor's heart can actually mess you up
I'm telling you.
to
Right.
a certain extent, because that pastor's heart is to be there, be present, to help, to assist. But that pastor's heart can destroy your life
Yes, sir.
because it's not our job
Mhm.
to be God.
Right.
And if we keep showing up all the time, people won't learn to rest on
That's
God.
what I keep saying.
Too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
Look
I
at
know.
the audience.
Look, we know a lot
This gonna be a close because the audience is going in on
It's
me.
good.
Lord help.
Think about Apostle. Think about all of the senior leaders you know that are carrying on real stress free because they are not answering a yes to nobody. They ain't even picking up their phone after certain hours. I'm not answering no call to pray with you at no time. I'm gonna send you to somebody else. You can't come knock on my door and sit in my office. You can't. You don't have access to me. You got to go see such and such and such. Think about them folks that are literally living stress free, ain't got a guilt or worry or care, and probably can do and don't because their boundary tells them I ain't doing it.
And
You ain't gonna kill me with your woe. You're not gonna kill me begging and asking and pleading for something that you probably should be going to God for yourself anyway on. But let's just be clear. There's some people that really do need, right? And then that pastoral heart, you want to give to everybody. But again, we talked about in the beginning, some people just only asking because they know you got it.
You got it. And they know
They don't
want
care.
to.
They don't care nothing about you.
Right.
It's just, I know that you'll sign off on this. I know that you'll give me this pass. I don't have to do no work for it. I know you're going to give it to me. And that's going to be that. And you ain't going to look for it back.
Users.
That's why I say
Telling
look
you.
at the spirit. Look at the
spirit, the motive, and the
behind.
intent.
Yeah, exactly.
Lord help. You are watching the Graceful Exchange Podcast. This is our Wednesday night live podcast. We are live on Facebook and we are also live on YouTube. Go out there and subscribe to our YouTube page, The Graceful Exchange. We are talking about tonight the power of no, discovering the keys to healthy boundaries. And these folks are stressing me. They are stressing me out. And you know, when we decided to talk about this, I knew that if it was going to step on anybody's toes, it was going to be mine. Because, yeah, no is a powerful word that I don't use too often. And so, again, when we look at, I heard somebody say self-care. Dr. Baker says self-care. Apostle Nash, you spoke on mental health, right? Because again, saying no can also assist you in being healthy, in caring for oneself, and actually it's healthy for others when you say no. if we think of it like this, that we tell our children no sometimes because we're trying to save them from a thing, right? So sometimes we give them a no because we don't want them to even get to a place of feeling entitled, that everything comes easy. But why is it so hard for us to say no to others? It's easy to say no to save others from your children from harm, but sometimes it's hard to say no to others when it can actually save them from harm.
I don't even think it's so much about the other people. I think it's something that we have intrinsically with us that, again, feels like we have to provide a sense of relief for that person because, like you said earlier, I know what that feels like for me to not have. And because I do, I want to make sure that they don't experience it that way. A lot of people do that with their children too, because I had a rough childhood. I want to make sure that my kid can just have it all,
Right.
because I don't want them to go through what I went through. But at the end of the day, you raise up spoiled children, you raise up entitled children, you raise up children who think money grow on trees. And then when they get in the real world, they're lost and don't know what to do because you coddled them, right? Sometimes, and then you got to think about it. Life is going to happen to our children and to people anyway. So then if we don't shape them and equip them and even say no to our children, to other people, we are debilitating them and exhausting and depleting ourselves. We end up getting to a place where internally we feel drained and you don't know why. And it's because we've constantly poured and given and given and given and put out and have yet to refill ourselves or had anybody else to come put it back into us.
So let's be honest, because we're talking about our children. You have an only child, you say yes to all the time.
Oh no, Aubrey gets a lot of no's though. She gets more yeses from her grandmother and my uncle than she does from me, because I don't want her to have that mentality. Now, then I have to have the conversation with them.
I don't know about all them privates, but I know there's a lot of
have to have a conversation with them.
Private side conversations, but I can say since you've been around me, I've seen a lot of yeses, right? But like, it's harder to say no to your children.
Yeah.
And then you got an only child. You can't tell me that's easy to say no to an only child. I have 5 children. And you just stated about you have a desire when you have when there's certain things you may be lacking as a child, that when you have your children, you want to, So in our dynamic, in my family, that was and is the mentality of my wife, because of the things they lacked growing up, that y'all think I'm bad at yes. She's worse at yes. Can you imagine having 2 parents that's yes and yes? But the thing is, I'll say no again, but I move with a yes. But I say no. I don't know if I've heard her ever say no to them. I've heard yeses and seen yeses, because sometimes it's making up for what you did not have. So our Christmases at our house, since we've had children, no exaggeration, since we've had children, there are has ever been less than 100 gifts.
Oh, wow.
Never. I'm not talking about in even the now of where I am. I'm talking about when we were teenagers, when we started out, because when we got married, I was 19. And literally, it started off like that. Tatiana, only child. Her aunt and all, they were getting fur coats and everything. So then the more children we had, the way we give them for Christmas is she counts up how many gifts they have. Everybody has to have the same amount of gifts, of course. Right? So if this person have 30, the next person has to have 30. The next person no, I'm serious.
Rashonda say adopt her for Christmas.
But listening to my wife and her sister talk, a lot of what they do when it comes to yesing and giving to their children is because of what they lacked as children growing up. So that is true. Sometimes your yes comes because you lacked in certain areas growing up. And can you imagine again being in a house where everybody's kind of yesing, yesing, yesing? And like I said, I'm the disciplinarian all day long. I'm the disciplinarian, and I stick with that, right? But when it comes to Daddy, can I have? Why you need that? I ask 100 questions, but it's still they get it. Yeah, the action is a yes. So I may drill you, even when people outside of my children, outside of family, if other people come to me and have a need or whatever, there's people that have talked to me and I'll get on them about how they handle their finances, being a steward and this, that, and the other, but then I'm still give it to them. So I still say yes. So what's wrong with me?
There's nothing wrong with you.
I don't think that there's anything wrong. I just think that there's something wrong when you just say yes to everybody. It's not that you say yes, because we all say yes, and in instances, in certain circumstances, it's hard for us to say no.
Yeah.
It's situational. But I am not just going to say yes to everyone that comes to me. You have a problem with that right there, Apostle. Not saying yes sometimes. You say yes all the time. That's where the problem comes in at. Yes, mother.
Do you think that
all right, can the usher escort Mother Jones out of the live studio?
Apostle Rice said senior leaders
My mother is joining
should
in
free
on this.
themselves. What else you say, Apostle Rice? He said senior leaders should free ourselves. One way that helps him to stay grounded is to understand God is the source. He has it all and gives it to whom he will and when he wants. We senior leaders are just a resource. We are not always mandated to help. God will send them help another way.
yes?
And I totally agree with that.
Well, do you think? I'm sorry.
I totally agree with that.
It's still a yes.
Okay, but do you think that if we learn how to set boundaries, even for the devil, when he's trying to intrude in our lives, and we know that what he's trying to do is not right, and instead of us saying, no, I'm not doing that, we'll ponder it, we'll think about it, and then we'll give him a yes. But if we can make a stand with Satan and tell him no and stick to it, have boundaries of where we're going to let him come in and where he cannot stay.
Okay.
He can't live here.
Okay.
He can't do that.
All right.
I'm not having that.
All right.
You know what I'm saying?
So I get it. I get what you're saying. So what you're saying is that when it's time to say no,
right?
Look at those people as my adversary. Look at them as the devil. Look at them as the enemy. They are satanic. They are diabolical in their movements.
No, Apostle.
You gonna tell everybody now.
So now when I see you, no, you the devil. No.
No, that's not quite what I was saying. I was actually talking about the devil for real. When he come with those different thoughts in your head, when he comes saying all that crazy stuff, we know not to buy into it, and we set those boundaries and say, no, I'm not receiving that. Or I used to always say, I speak death to that. So that's what I'm saying.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, look at it like this, Apostle.
Y'all stressing me out. I know this was gonna happen.
Look at your nose, and anybody else who have a problem with just saying no for any and every reason. Well, maybe we can just look at no's and see that they are not rigid lines drawn in the sand. That, you know what I'm saying? But maybe you can look at it, as I stated in the very beginning, as self-care. When you understand how to sit and how to set and maintain healthy boundaries. You can avoid the feelings of like you disappointed somebody, like you angered somebody, like they're going to have resentment toward you. And then you learn how to set limits, healthy boundaries, self-care. I'm not putting your luggage in my backpack. My backpack already heavy.
Right.
I don't have to carry yours. I'm not obligated. I'll say yes if a need arises and your motives are clear. I'll tell you yes. But if every time I look up just because you guys know that this is who I am, here you come. It's got to be a no sometime.
Because that's very stressful.
It is. It makes you feel heavy and weighed down.
Yes.
It is. It's very stressful.
That's good.
Yeah, your mind wanders. You know what I'm saying? You can't rest because now when you tell someone no, now when they walk away or you walk away, just like you said, well, what if I am the cause of them going out here doing something? Well, I'm going to pray for you and I hope that you wouldn't, but then I have to have peace in my no.
Yes.
You have a right to have peace in your no.
Rashonda said, I've always looked at no as disappointment. Maybe that's the childlike mentality of childhood disappointment. Now, I agree with that because maybe that is the reason you say yes all the time, because you don't want to inflict disappointment on other people, or vice versa.
Right.
I don't want to.
Right.
So
no, because you got to think about this, right? And I can only, again, talk about me, that I am very mindful when I'm not out here just trying to hurt people. People out, I know what that feels like. I know what being hurt feels like. I'm not just out here trying to hurt people. So if I feel that my yes helps you, then I don't mind, again, because there's a lot of things that I've done just period. Not even all financial. There are a lot of things that I've done that I could not afford to do, be it time and presence, all of that.
Right.
But because I don't like to disappoint people.
Right.
Because I don't like.
That's where the bad part comes in, though. Because then if you still hurt you,
it does.
That's what I'm saying. So that's where we have to listen to our internal signals, right? If you know that your yes, even though you can, I got the means or whatever, but it's still gonna hurt you in some way. It's not a problem. You should not feel bad for saying no in that instance. Now, if it's a case where, okay, I'm just saying yes, but it ain't hurting me, I don't feel no type of way, I'm not depleted in no way, this is not bothering me mentally, I don't got no guilt behind it.
But see, I'm like that. Meaning, at the time, I may not feel bad. I'm gonna be real honest. Y'all want to be? I'm gonna be real honest, right? I'm gonna be real honest, because that's who I am. Okay. So look, this is because I didn't want to have to tell off on myself, but I don't have a problem doing the things that I do at the time I'm doing them. The only time I regret my yes is after people burn me.
I get that.
That's the only time.
I get that.
Totally understandable.
When I tell you that when I help from a pure place. So I don't mind. It don't hurt me. It doesn't bother me. It becomes a thing after people have betrayed me, hurt me, or handled me, because my mind goes back to, I was there when you couldn't call on nobody. I felt, in those times where you couldn't trust nobody, didn't have means. I was present. I was there. And that's the only time that I actually feel a way. Now, I don't always want to say yes. However, I don't regret, or I don't feel that I've lost anything because I said yes or gave something. It is only in those times where people slap me in the face that it's like, can you imagine? I had someone, for example, who literally had just come into my life, just had connected to me, and gave me a story of them living in their car. Had just met them probably 2 or 3 weeks. They were living in their car. And they told me some, where some things is going, shape up and come together for them. I gave this person $1,000 so they can get out of their car. And when I tell you, a couple months later, they begin to turn against me for no reason. Well, not a reason that I've done, but just people getting into their ears and all of the rest. You allow people to pull you away from a person who helped you when nobody else would. Then I regret it because I'm like, now I just met you.
Right.
I didn't have to help you. You could have kept sleeping in your car.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So then it made me think you only connected because you knew you needed some help. And you might have heard through the grapevine that I'll be the one that'll help you. I don't know. I don't know how to view it now.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Because months later, I become the worst thing and you trauma bonded and you in a thing. Yeah. And I'm like, wait, hold up. You was just here with a handout. What is happening? And so that's the only time when I tell you, and that's just an example, that's the only time I feel a certain way about helping people. Other than that, I don't have a problem saying yes. And I don't feel a certain way. I don't feel like, until, again, I'm slapped in the face. That's the only time. So what y'all saying is, according to Apostle Nash, I need to see them as Satan.
No. No, Apostle.
When they come,
I'm just playing.
Well, that last person that you just gave $1,000 to, you should have saw them.
I should have saw them as the devil.
Yeah,
yes. But it's that hard.
I get it. I get it.
And it's still the everybody all the time.
That's what it is. Everybody all the time.
You said everybody,
but listen,
all the time.
That's the problem.
I don't know if y'all realize this or not, but y'all do know I control all y'all mics, right?
You do.
I can just start muting y'all mics because y'all not about to keep doing this to me. Y'all not about to keep doing this to me, But again, I know it's not healthy to say yes all the time. I know it's not healthy to always help. I know that, right? I know that sometimes the only way people are going to learn to trust God is if you remove your hand. I know that. I get it. I guess I just don't want to contribute to people's disappointment.
But
they still will be.
But they still, you can't please everybody.
She said
I saw that.
Even God
saw that.
Do not
I
say
saw
yes
that.
all
I saw that. I saw that. But I skipped right over that.
I know you saw it. That's why I brought it back.
I saw that comment.
I know it.
And I hurried up and scrolled. I didn't want to see that.
Look, when you scrolled up, I pulled it back.
So we got to come to an agreement. I'm gonna be the only one reading the comments.
Can I read one first?
Because even then, how many times do you hear after that? Well, I didn't tell you to do that.
Exactly.
Now you told me.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then we suffer because we didn't, even consult him too. They could have went to him first, and he said no.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go to Apostle because he gonna do it. Forget what God said. He said no. He'll know what he's talking about. Let me go to Apostle. How backwards is that?
Yeah.
So you know what I do?
But you know what? Go ahead.
What I've done, you better step out on faith. That's what I got to do.
That's what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's what I have to do.
But you know what? Tony just said something.
Exactly.
I remember having, and I've shared this before, I remember having a conversation with God, and I was angry because of me always, being there to help and to assist and yesing and all of that. And I remember telling God, I can't believe that this has happened. This was said. This was done after I did this, that, and the other. And as clear as day, the Lord said to me, I didn't tell you to do it.
And I think you said that more than once, didn't he?
Yeah. Yes.
The Lord said, I didn't tell you to do it.
Yeah.
You did that because of your heart, but I didn't tell you to do that.
The heart is wicked. Jesus.
No, you didn't.
What number is his microphone?
Toya Hodges said.
We gotta label these mics so I know.
Look, Toya Hodges said, you're enabling their disappointment. She said, don't mute the mics. Your deliverance is in the room.
Now, Toya, you know I love you. You tripping tonight. I love you, though.
Oh, wow.
You know I love you, but you tripping tonight.
That's my man.
Woo, Jesus, you tripping tonight.
Well, Rachel said a little while ago, she said, this is true. I grew up without a care in the world. I had everything I needed and wanted. When I became an adult, I was super lost. I didn't know what struggle was.
Wow.
Okay.
And you know what? My question was gonna be, well, I guess that makes me a horrible parent because no, let me
Go
it was rough for me growing up. It's still rough for me now.
Yeah.
But I didn't make it easy for my kids. I did not. Because I didn't want to hinder them. So they'll tell you, I did not make it easy for them. Nope. I was like, nope. I'm not doing that. I did not.
See, I'm somewhere in the middle of that because the thing is, I want to establish certain things so that at a certain point in time, Aubrey will have things that was not established for me. However, I think I agree with what you're saying in the sense of I still want her to learn responsibility. I still want you to learn, understand how to handle money. I'm not going to just keep giving you and you keep doing, and even like you said, like Christmas, she's the only one. Yeah, all the gifts going to you because it's a bunch of adults and it's just you, right? But then it comes to a point where throughout the year and stuff, you just asking for stuff. I'm not going to give it to you all the time because I want you to realize, well, what did you do with the last toy? Is it broken? Did you destroy it? Where's the charger to it? Go find, you know what I mean? So certain things, like I agree, but then there's also that instance where I do want her to have a certain level of things, a certain level of I don't have to worry in this instance. Yeah, you still got to work hard. Yeah, you still got to go get your own. However, you got some help on the back end, right? That kind of thing. So I definitely agree, but then I also have that thing of I want my kid to have sureness.
Proper, healthy boundaries.
There you go.
There's two ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
There's you can do not enough and you can do too much.
Yeah.
Both ruin.
Come on.
Anybody.
Yes.
But when you keep those boundaries healthy, you have to have a balance.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say.
You know, once you have a balance, then you can teach them, like you said, I'll do this, I'll have this here, but it's just not going to be yes all the time. You have to know what no feels like because when you're out here in society, you're going to get a lot of no. So now how are you going to act? You know, you can't throw a tantrum.
Right.
So you're right. You know, you have to make sure that they're covered this way, but you have to also make sure that you're not just throwing and overpowering because now, just like Rachel said, she did not have to want, she did not have to struggle. And when it hit her, it gave her a rude awakening. You know, like, wow, what is struggle? Look at struggle. Struggle came knocking on.
What is this?
So look at this and look at this though. Toya says, can I get $10,000? Amen. Bless your heart. You know what? I don't have a problem saying no.
You're being delivered.
Go ahead.
I'm being delivered. Yeah. No. I want us to look at it like this though. Because I'm providing well for my children doesn't mean that it is unhealthy. Because I want you to think about this, that we want them to know struggle so they can make it in the earth and make it in the world. I think that's a cultural thing because being a previous banker, I sat with other cultures and races, and their mentality is not for their children to struggle, but to teach them how to steward well. I think our mistake is we feel like we're teaching and training them we're not providing a thing. No, you're setting them up most times for failure. So at the end of the day, I may give and set up, but it's in the teaching of how to steward well. Right. Even in the area of finance, right? Think about, now I want them to get out here and know what it's like to go out here and work a job. Mm-hmm. Well, that's in our culture. Mm-hmm. And because other cultures, the job that they work is a family business. Mm-hmm. So they learn to work with the family. We don't mind putting our people out there, our children out there, and letting them struggle it to get to a place of success. We don't have anything structured. We don't have any family estate plannings and all of the rest because you can learn how to govern well. You can also not live an entitled life and through success. And most times we feel like that, oh, they're entitled or they don't know what it's like to struggle. Well, it ain't even the idea for us to even know what that's like all the time. And again, that's a cultural thing. You got to teach how to steward well. Because again, I'm not going to sit up here and lie and tell y'all I want my children to know what struggle feels like. Right. That's a lie. Mm-hmm. I agree.
That's a healthy boundary that you're teaching.
I definitely, and then don't punish or mishandle mine because they're not struggling like yours or something like that, or you should be telling them no. Why? You give me a reason why I should be telling them no all the time.
No, right.
Because see, at the end of the day, I told my children, teaching them that, and I tell my girls especially, can't no Negro come to you talking about, hey, come on, let's this. I'll buy you this. I'll give you this. Mm-hmm. You're not gonna get my kid to go for $40. I'm just, you're not gonna promise them a thing for them to feel a certain way, because I trained and raised my children from Tatiana being the oldest, from a little girl. I used to always tell her, don't you allow nobody. I promise, tell her my daddy can get that. My daddy can, my daddy, and I put that in her head, and my girls and my kids, period. You don't have to bow to none of that. Say my daddy can provide that. Yeah. And I believe that it's all about how we are teaching and training our youth, our children, and even how we don't take certain things from generation to generation. Because some of this stuff that we say, we feel like we're saying no to teach them a thing. Oh, we actually saying no, and it is causing a repeat of a cycle. Because again, think about all them no's that you might have gotten that built up a spirit of rejection for you. Think about it. Some of these no's are not healthy, and I'm talking about on a family dynamic. Right. Yeah. Some of the no's are not healthy. Again, if I had to realize, and this is an area that I still struggle or whatever. My daughter has a boyfriend. I want to talk about it out here. She got a boyfriend. Everybody knows she talk about it online, right? But at the end of the day, there's times where I don't want her to go out. I don't. So much happening out here.
Right.
There's times I don't want her to go out. To me, I know Tatiana is grown. She's grown, about to be 24, right? But in my eyes, that's my little girl.
Yeah, that's right.
And
so will be.
Yeah.
Always.
So I look at, I don't even know how tall Tati is. She about this high. You know what I'm saying? She about this tall. But I don't always want her out. She got her own car. She drives. She works. She does her own thing. I don't. She's my little girl, right? So when it comes time that she's going somewhere and she has to drive herself and go night, I'm worried. She go get her hair done. She go get her hair done. Not long ago, she went and got braids, and the girl was braiding her hair, and literally the girl didn't get done with her hair till about 3:00 in the morning. Well, she's coming from the low end of the city by herself at 3 in the morning. Got to drive home. I'm worried.
I know.
Like, God, I know you gotta. Bleeding the blood of Jesus. But in subconscious mind, I'm still, my little girl is out there, got to travel 3:00 in the morning from getting her hair done. Now, I couldn't get your hair done. It's her money. It's her money, and this is what she's doing to keep herself, because I don't always keep herself to death. there's moments I want to say no.
No.
Like, no, it's gonna have to skip that because coming in at 3 o'clock in the morning, driving by yourself, things like that. So from dating, which I'm embracing now, to just being around and going and navigating and driving and being out on her own, it's still a little thing for me. But I can't say no, because what happens, that 24-year-old almost is gonna remember, I can't do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I can't go nowhere.
And then
start rebelling,
Yes.
And that type of thing.
Yeah.
And she's been in a happy place because she has a little more freedom to do and to go or whatever. She's been in a very peaceful and happy place. So sometimes you just can't tell people.
Well, I think we've been focused on like a financial
Outside of it.
giving, and then we've talked about
Yeah.
our children. But what happens when your boundaries are more on an emotional level, not being able to say no relationally outside of your children or your family, like church members or co-workers or in other
Lord.
dynamics? Like, you still have to have a healthy boundary in other arenas. So maybe it's not as easy with your children. We all can agree with that, right?
Yep.
Maybe it's not as easy when it comes down to meeting a financial need when you got it and you can. We've been talking about those two kind of capacities, but what is it like to set the boundaries in other arenas? What is it like to still be able to say no on the job, or again in the ministry, or in other capacities? We still have to have the healthy space, the balance of is my capacity. This is how much I can give. So this is how much I can't, right? And be able to do that, not in a rude way, but be able to say it and still be okay. How does that work? Look, how does it work? Because again, everybody wants you to be all things all the time.
Well, first realizing that you can't be all things to everybody.
But we're taught that.
Yeah, but that's not true.
I'm just saying.
We cannot do that. And I think the weight of it all, because of certain things that were instilled in us, certain things that we were told, when we were growing up, or certain things that you heard said all the time. I mean, constantly you heard certain things, and that's just not true. It's just not true. It wasn't true then, and it's not true today. Don't tell me no. Well, yeah, I need to. If you're wrong, you're wrong. That's not right. And I'm sorry, but I got to say no. And when I say I'm sorry, I don't mean I'm apologizing. Right. I'm just saying no.
Right.
And being okay with my no, like I said in the very beginning, we've got to be okay with our no's. And we have to be able to stand on our no, set our boundaries, and don't code, and then don't turn around and change your no. We got to stand on it. We got to be okay. Be true to your own self.
Again, no is situational.
Of course, exactly.
In all arenas, no is situational.
Always.
On my job, no is situation. Not on my job. It's always. Yeah, no. It's always no. But in other emotional attachments, my no is situational, and sometimes in those spaces, no is hard.
Yeah. But I can be transparent and say that because of my lack of boundaries, I've gotten myself into relationship situations that were not conducive because I could not stand on my no.
Yeah, me too.
Because I wanted to care and be considerate and love and all the rest, right? And that puts you in, you're the one left in the bad space when you cannot stand and remain on the no. Had I remained in the no, a lot of stuff wouldn't even happen. I wouldn't even, a lot of stuff you could just pass by. Just wouldn't even have to even go through certain dramas, certain situations or anything, certain friendship breakups and all the rest. Let the no remain the no. Yeah. But then we retreat. We like back on the no for feeling guilty or feeling like we gotta make up for, or oh man, I've let them down, or I'm disappointing them, or oh man, we ain't gonna be friends no more. They ain't gonna like me no more. Oh boy, I don't want to feel rejected now because of my no, because of my standard. I don't want to feel rejected, right? So now I'm just gonna go ahead and go back on the no.
Now that y'all saying this word no so much. I wish that when people came to get the right hand of fellowship, I would have said no. No, I'm just playing. I just playing.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just like.
And
I want to come be a part of your church. No.
No. Stay over there. Way over there. No.
The Lord sent me. The Lord sent me there. No, he didn't.
Oh, wow, goodness. Child too. So my grandmother, if you ask her anything, no problem. It's no problem. Meaning yes, no problem. Can you? No problem. Will you? No problem. So us being her children, her grandchildren, everybody expected us to have that same mentality, that same spirit. Well, I'm a little bit different. I didn't have a problem saying no, but I wouldn't say no. I just wouldn't do it. So my no was in that I wouldn't do it. Okay, I heard what you said, just not doing it.
Oh,
but quick story. So back when I was maybe like 6 or 7, I've always sang around the house, all of that. In public, you couldn't get me to sing or talk. One day in church, they decided, oh, we're gonna sing. It was Now Behold the Lamb during Christmas, and I could sing that song at home. So when it came time to lead, everybody's looking at Tony, come sing the song. I didn't say no. I just got up and walked out.
Oh, wow.
You're a rebel.
And one of my cousins, she gave me 7 words that I have lived by for the last 20 years. She said, Tony, you do not have to do it.
Wow.
And things like that, when it comes up, I don't have to say no. I don't have to do it. Mm-hmm. But how has that hindered me too? Because I wanted to sing it, look at me now. But then I was so fearful. So my default was no. Now imagine if I would have started doing what I do now much earlier. I'd probably be much further off, more comfortable and things like that. But because of my fear, my boundary was automatic no. I don't care what you say. It's a no.
So that was
it was like you was a rebel. That's what that says. You was a rebel. Thank God for humbling you.
Walk it out.
The Lord, he delivered you.
He feels some deliverance that thing.
That's good though.
Yeah.
That's a
but even my no, like
perspective.
I feel like it stagnated me too. Because if I just said yes, I could have grown. I could have had different, been in different areas, different teachers and stuff like that.
Right.
If I would have just said yeah, or just did what I was asked to do. So yeah, no is sometimes not always the best thing too, because even our boundaries can keep us confined and stagnate us from growing.
And
that's
good. Why it should always be situational.
So that's no on the side of rebellion.
That makes a difference.
My friend Janelle Middleton is on here, and when we first met each other, she is the one who articulated boundaries to me in a way that was just so profound. Like, she's able to tell her boundary in the sweetest manner. It's like you can't be mad at her for stating her no or stating her boundary, because it's given so nice that you're just like, okay, I accept that. And she goes on and like, she's not going to go beyond her boundary. She has been able to articulate what her boundaries are, what still love you. I don't dislike you because I'm saying no. I don't have with you because I'm saying no. I'm saying no because I can't give you that. It's not in my ability, my capacity right now. But her language with that really helped shape me. And that was in 2020 when we first met. But her being able to articulate boundaries in any capacity, on her job. She left her job because of boundaries and didn't feel bad about it, right? I'm getting out of here because we're not meeting the boundary. There's some things being crossed, relationships, whatever. She's able to articulate that. And I think it's a beautiful thing when you know you enough to give you to others without hurting yourself.
Right.
She's mastered it.
Absolutely.
She's mastered it, and she's being true to herself.
Yeah.
She knows what's healthy for her and what's not, and she refused to let that go. It took a lot for her to get to that place.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's good.
Rachel says, does she have a class for this here?
Come on, boundaries.
Lord help. You are tuned into Graceful Exchange Live Podcast. This is our Wednesday night show. Dancing me out as we talk about the topic of the power of discovering the keys to healthy boundaries. And again, they are stressing me out tonight because I'm going through the process of deliverance. All right. Going through the process of deliverance. So when I say no and I move in a no, don't y'all be holding that.
Just don't say no to me. No.
See, I was almost delivered.
Now, why do you do that, Apostle?
I was almost delivered. I was confessing. Beyond people, right? Look, I was just confessing my fault.
Yes,
Oh, my Lord.
You're doing good. You still got that deliverance.
I can't say no. Oh, Lord Jesus. I'm telling you. So, again, we're talking about the power of discovering. What we in my eyes, they haven't been discovered because I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna start practicing.
You've been doing good this year.
Have I?
Yeah. Maybe it's just not letting people get close enough so they got to ask you for something. But you've been doing good. I haven't heard a whole lot of yeses and just giving out and doing stuff.
And you would know.
Yeah. You are on the road. I'm so proud of you. Listen, I'm so proud. The numbers are different too. I'm so proud of you. Glory to God.
And having the right people around you.
They're
not going to talk about
say
your yeses too.
Right.
That's good too.
Not even going to ask you for certain things because they know you're going to do it.
Right.
But the mindset is I don't want to take from you. So I'm not going to ask you for anything too.
And you do. And some people feel like, no, it's time for people to do back when the right people are around you.
You just said something there. All right.
Yeah.
I guess.
Hallelujah.
I guess. So let's look at this. Because I kind of touched on it a little bit. But are there cultural or societal factors that influence people's ability to set boundaries and say no?
Yep.
Are there cultural or societal factors that influence people's ability to set boundaries and say no? You say yes. Go ahead, talk to me about it.
Yes, because culturally, Black people think your yes means loyalty.
Right.
Your yes means we're somehow super locked in, right? I can't tell you no if we're supposed to be friends or together. I'm not supposed to have a boundary with you because we're in a relationship of some sort, any dynamic. It could be family, friend, relationship, whatever. Black folks think that you have to say yes to them. Like, again, if I tell you no, that means you now against me. You're my enemy. We're not. We just possibly can't be friends because you said no to me. But in other cultures, and I've been around other cultures, they say no all the time, and it's not a big deal. It's like, okay, whatever. It is what it is. Like it's only us that start to make each other enemies for having a boundary, having a standard, having a limit to our love, a limit to what I'm able to give you at the moment. Like, I don't know. I just think that these black and brown folks, again, we we make people our enemy when they can't do for us.
Right.
It's only about what folks can do. And once they are not able to do, oh, you ain't down, you ain't with me, you not loyal, you not this, you not that. We're not on the same team no more.
Right.
So weird
Right.
type of
Because
mentality.
no shouldn't make us enemies.
Exactly.
Right.
It should.
Right.
Exactly.
No doesn't say that I don't love you. No
Right.
doesn't say that I don't care.
None of that.
No doesn't say that we have now again, become enemies in, how we're walking this thing out.
Yes.
No, sometimes it's just healthy for us, the individual, and I think people have to learn how to allow you to take care of yourself,
Correct.
how to be healthy intrinsically.
Yes.
What was you about to say?
When people love you for real, they want to know your boundaries and honor them.
That's right.
When people,
That's good.
I realize that when people have a false sense of love or it's materialistic,
Right.
they don't care about your boundaries. They
Right.
don't care
No.
about your level of safety. They don't care about what makes you feel unsafe, no matter what that is for you, because it's different for all of us, right? But people who love you for real want to know what those boundaries are and help you keep them.
That's right.
Not even just with me. I want to help you keep them with other folks. Keep your boundaries up, because that's healthy for you. I want you to live. I want you to be here. And so in order for you to do that, care for you, I'm gonna care for you, and let's try to make sure that other people are respecting that too. And if they can't, then
Right.
And then on the, and then on the
probably the
other,
only one that said right.
and then on the other side of that, people who are healthy, they understand when they're crossing boundaries, and they don't want to cross boundaries. So something is wrong with the individual who cannot accept no sometimes.
Yeah.
I was just getting ready to go there. I'm glad you said that, because that's why I was heading, that something's got to be wrong with people who don't allow you to say no or allow you to not be present all the time, right? Because there should be a time where you don't have to feel like you always have to be on. Always got to be there. Always got to say yes. And something is wrong with that individual that is using manipulation, trying to make you feel guilty, or mishandling or treating you different because you said no, or they made it about themselves. You know what I'm saying? So again, I would say, no, I want y'all to finish, because I don't want to put mine in there yet. Go ahead.
Well, I would say that one thing that we do hold as Black people is that you should never tell a family member no. They put such a responsibility on you to always be there for family, no matter what. And to me, you can be there for family without always saying yes. I can say no. I'm still with you. We're still family. My no did not change the fact that we are family.
There you go.
It didn't change anything. But for us, as most Black people, it's like a death sentence. That just ended all relationship, the closeness, everything is just over because I said no.
Yes.
But it didn't change the dynamics.
Yes.
We are still family.
Yes.
You're still my sister.
There you
For
go.
real. You're still my brother. For real. You're still my
Yes.
cousin.
Yes.
For real. But this cousin, this sister is still saying no.
Right. But that's exactly because no, I can't make it.
Right.
And no, I can't make it doesn't say that I really don't want to be there. It says that it is impossible for me to be present. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not saying, but because again, we don't want to have to deal with the extra.
Right.
Sometimes for me, that's why I say yes. I don't want to deal with the extra. I try to make 5 and 6, places and events because folks gonna feel away when you can't make theirs. You know what I'm saying? And so to try to keep all of that down, we find ourselves wearing ourselves out, not having self-care. Then it deals with it. It takes us to a place mentally, emotionally. We become drained and all the rest. And then once we are physically out of pocket and can't function, who's there for us? And they don't understand that You know, because then it's those same people that'll come back and say, you need to take care of yourself. You need to rest.
Right. Right.
You need to rest. You need to stop running all over the place. Well, can't when you pulling all over the place.
Yeah.
So
And you feel the way when I can't.
yeah.
I feel like our culture too, we play survivor. In other cultures, they instead of survivor, they're using strategy.
Mhm.
So we look at, we don't give to our children. We say no out of, well, I had to survive. I had to struggle, had to learn these things. Other cultures, they don't mind helping. They don't mind. They may say no, but then they give you access to, okay, well, this is how I did it. So not using survivor, but more so strategy and those tools, so where they're not struggling. There's no competition. For us, it's all competition because you said no. Oh, you must be against me. You want me to have what you have. That's not always the case either. So,
My Lord. All right. The Reverend Dr. Patrice, ready?
Yep. Mhm.
The social expectations. In some cultures, there may be strong social norms or expectations that prioritize harmony, cooperation, and avoiding conflict. Saying no can be seen as rude, disrespectful, or confrontational in these contexts. But sometimes love is confused with the respect of no.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
My Jesus.
That's true.
Mhm.
I agree.
My Lord. This has been very good.
Yes.
Very, very good. Y'all better learn how to say no. I'm talking in the mirror, y'all.
Okay.
Y'all help me tonight. Y'all help me tonight. I might be delivered a little bit.
That's
glory to
good.
God.
Just a little bit.
It's a process.
It is.
Just a little bit. I think I might be a little delivered tonight.
Graceful exchange.
It's a graceful exchange. I'm trying to tell you. And
Mhm.
and this thing has been good.
Yeah.
It's been eye-opening. It's
Yeah.
been enlightening.
Mhm.
I hope and pray that you all have enjoyed the Graceful Exchange podcast tonight. And I hope y'all learn the power of no, because I'm learning the power of no. You know what I'm saying? Because again, we have to have healthy boundaries.
Yes.
And then we won't live in regret when certain things turn the way they do.
Mhm.
If we just go ahead and learn how to say no. It's okay not to be included. It's okay to not be a part. It's okay to be in a place where you put you 1st, right?
Yes.
And I think that's where I struggle, and I don't mind saying that, putting me first, because as you heard Pastor Asia say, she's witnessed where I'll sit and do for other people and would do nothing for myself. And so I think that in this moment, this time and place of life, we've got to learn how to put us first.
Yeah.
If it's not, again, as someone had put in the comments, count up the cost. You got to. Are you willing to pay the price, the cost of what your yes in a moment or season where it should be no? Are you willing to pay that price for saying yes? Are you willing to sacrifice for saying yes? So I think this is good. Anybody have anything you want to share before we wrap up tonight?
I was reading in the comment, Pastor Jefferson says, well, what happens when God says to tell them no or to say no?
Y'all like pulling Pastor Jefferson comments. She keep putting this stuff on God. But look, now believe it or not, if God says for me to say a thing, I don't have a problem.
I believe it. I know that.
I'll say no all day. If God tell me to say no, man, please, you couldn't pay me to say yes.
That's it. That's
so it's in that instance, if God is talking and God is telling me no, it's going to be no. If he's saying yes, it's going to be yes. It is those moments where God is silent.
Right.
It is in those moments that I struggle. When God is not speaking, when the choice, when he allows the choice to be yours,
Right.
or when you have not been still long enough to hear him. You know what I'm saying? But in those, it's when he's not giving you that yay or nay. And you have to just make those humanistic decisions for yourself or for the moment.
Right.
But if God says, say no, all day long. I don't care who don't like me, who against me. It is what it is. I'm following what the Lord said.
Amen.
That's
And
right.
I'm going to always follow what he's saying. God speaking, I'm following. I'm moving according to what he's saying. So yeah, I'm with you on that, Pastor Jefferson. I won't be bothered on that one. All right. If God say no, it's a no,
Yes, I know.
all day long.
Yeah.
All day long. Anybody have anything you would like to share as we close it out?
Just develop healthy boundaries. Figure out and understand and learn who you are as a person. Learn what triggers you, what hinders you, what provokes you. Learn the things that will keep you healthy. Learn what will keep you safe, and not to a place where you debilitate yourself, but to a place again where you're in a healthy state mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, financially, and all of the rest. So you got to sit with you to understand what your boundaries are. You got to sit with yourself to learn what self-care is for you. You got to sit with you, learn who you are, learn your do's and your don'ts, what you like and what you don't like. Know you so that you can set up some healthy boundaries so that other people can love you properly.
Yeah.
How can I expect someone to love me properly when I don't love me properly? I can't articulate this thing to you because I don't love me properly. Love you first and set up your healthy boundaries.
All right. Anybody else have anything else?
Just remember that healthy boundaries are going to always involve your mental, your physical, and your emotional state. All three are involved.
I agree.
Growing up, we had this thing back in like elementary, grammar school, where they talked about drug and alcohol use, and they had this thing, just say no.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
personal to you. You have to say no. So just use that. Just say no.
Mhm.
But that was to drugs.
Well,
The addiction of
that's right. That too.
Yes.
That too.
Excuse me.
Say no to drugs.
Say no to and people.
Because
People can be the drug too.
yeah, I was just going to say,
Yes.
people can be a drug. Yes can be a drug.
Yes.
You know, saying yes can be a drug.
Yes, it can.
Addicted to yes.
Yep.
Mhm.
Hmm. Yeah. You addicted to yes.
Mm-hmm.
So
my end quote is
okay.
open air quote ditto. To everybody said close air quote.
All right. So as we close it, we want our audience to know that setting healthy boundaries and confidently saying no
Yes.
are vital aspects of self-care and maintaining balanced relationships. We want you all to know that are watching that prioritizing our well-being by honoring our limits and communicating assertively allows us to live more authentically and foster deeper connections with others. So remember, asserting our boundaries is an act of self-respect that ultimately enhances our overall quality of life. So it is so important that we understand that we have to learn the healthy boundaries and confidently saying no is essential for fostering self-respect, preserving well-being, and cultivating mutually respectful relationships. Say no to more than just drugs. Thank you again to all of you that hung out with us tonight. We hope and pray that you've enjoyed our graceful exchange. And so we are grateful for, again, Asia Sade,
Good night, y'all.
Apostle Sylvia Nash,
Good night.
Dr. Jeanette Baker,
Nighty night.
Tony,
Good night.
and Cherry.
Good night, people.
All right. So you all have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much for joining us. If you just jumped on, watch the replay.
Yeah.
It was good tonight. It was fun. We had an awesome time. Thank you for sharing with us. Remember to go out there and like the Graceful Exchange podcast page right here on Facebook. Go like it for me. Go follow it. Like it and follow. Like and follow. Like and follow. All right. And then go over to YouTube. Go into YouTube and look for the Graceful Exchange podcast. Look for that page and subscribe. Again, go to YouTube. Please go to YouTube and go, and you're able to tell people who are not on Facebook that they can watch us. They can watch us live on YouTube. All right. So again, look for the Graceful Exchange podcast page on YouTube and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you so much. Again, we celebrate and acknowledge our artist of the week, which is Ariana Thomas. Already loved. We enjoyed her music. It was hot, y'all.
Yeah.
All right, make sure you go get it and download it. It's on all digital outlets. Go support her. All right, please do me that favor. Support her. She is an awesome young lady, and we want to support our own. All right, she belongs to the kingdom, and we want to support her. All right, y'all have a good night. Thank you so much for joining the Graceful Exchange podcast. God bless.